Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon from Sweden, and welcome to this week's live stream. I'm so excited to be back, and we have a full-packed 30 minutes ahead of us. As you guys know, my name is Sara. I'm a part of Adway, and we do automated recruitment marketing to enable a 24/7 candidate attraction strategy to reach and recruit your most desired candidates. We give you guys a couple of minutes to tune in, but if you are with us today in this live, please comment where you are tuning in from, because we don't see you, so we really like to see you. I know we have people from the US joining in, of course, from the Nordics. Do we have anyone from Europe? Go in the comments. So thrilled, again, giving you a couple of minutes to tune in, but I'm so thrilled to be welcoming the guests of the show today. With me, I have our partner Talentech with Maja Lindström. She's the Chief Product Officer, and Elin Filipp, she's the Chief People Officer at Talentech Group. Welcome, guys, to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're gonna have so much fun, and of course, as usual in this session, you are really we really like you to ask all your curious questions. So don't be shy in the comment section. Fire away. We're here from you. We have gotten a lot of questions in beforehand, so 30 minutes will be really tight. And a reminder: if you'd like all the key takeaways from this session, comment summary in the comment section, and we'll give you the full summary, of course. Before we get started, I also like to highlight that we have another webinar coming up together with Talentech, the 19th of May, how to maximize your TA efforts. And if you're curious in joining in on that one, just hit us in the comment section and we'll send it to you. Enough from me, guys. Maja and Elin, please enlighten us. Who are you? Of course, what are you doing at Talentech? Who are Talentech, and how are you improving the space of TA? Give us the background story.
I think I'm starting. So hello, everyone. My name is Maja Lindström, and I am a product developer at core. I've been in software development leading roles in 20 years, something like that. I joined ReachMe 4 years ago, a solution provider for recruitment system that is now a part of Talentech. And I mean, I've been recruiting a lot in my job during my career, but it was first when I started ReachMe that I really understood that this is a real profession to recruit. And now, since 1.5 years back, ReachMe is part of Talentech. So we merged 4 companies: ReachMe, HR Manager, Webcruiter from the Nordics, all very active in TA, but also in talent management. And the 4th company was a Dutch company called Talmundo, who works with onboarding, a super important part also of the talent journey, of course. And our aim is to really provide you with having access to all of the different great tools that you can find out there, because so much is going on in HR tech. It's super exciting, but it can also be a bit messy with all of these different tools you want to try. So we want to put it all on one platform to make it easier to use and get access to all of them, and to connect all the data and don't have to work and log in a lot of different systems. So that's basically our strategy.
Hey, thank you. And Elin, what are your background?
It's really nice that we have both of our CPOs here. So Maja is a HR interested tech person, and I'm a tech interested HR person. So I'm the Chief People Officer for Talentech Group. I really love HR tech. It's wonderful to be an HR person in an HR tech company. People really understand what it is about. I think I had the most fun job in the Nordics, or at least in Sweden or Stockholm. It's really amazing. But we have been on a journey. You can really say that we have been on a journey. I also started at ReachMe together with Maja. So I've been a part both of being the company that is acquired and being the company that acquires. So what I've worked with for the last 1.5 years is merging the companies, building our culture from the scratch. So focusing on culture engagement, creating co-ownership, and getting everybody to connect to one another in the new context, building our employer brand. People didn't know us since before. So yeah, it's a really, really wonderful job, and it's a wonderful company. And I really think that the combination of doing good HR things in-house for us and doing that for our customers, it's the perfect combination.
Yeah, and definitely, I mean, having you guys as a HR and tech nerd combined with a tech nerd and HR lover into this live stream, I mean, what better mix, right? So perfect for my live stream. Okay, so we have a lot of guys with us, and I see your comments. And again, don't be shy with comment summary if you would like all the key takeaways, because we're about to jump into today's topic. And if you have curious questions, don't hesitate, guys. This is your moment. So, Maja and Elin, if we were to dig into today's topic, we have quite a provocative topic today, saying that if you treat recruitment like Tinder, you're in for a real wake-up call. And this is, of course, you'll get a lot of prospect if you swipe once in a while using, a super edited stock photo, but it won't last or result in a long-lasting relationship. So, since you've done this merge again with 4 companies in HR tech and also empowering your customers, how could you give us your best advice into real, for sure, be an attractive employer and work from within with the full talent journey?
Yeah, I really think that the dating analogy works, like attraction and finding the good match. It is a mission, but you can't really do it once at a time. You have to bring something to the table. You can't just sit and swipe and sort out people. So you have to be able to sell yourself, but in an honest way. So not catfishing the candidates, making sure that it is a commitment to keeping and finding great people. So it's not a one-time thing. But I would say my main thing there is used employees. Use what they say about you, have a good relationship, be a genuinely good employer, ask for their opinions, and like the voice of the employee. I think it's the most important part.
So involving the candidates in your authentic communication, in bringing up your EVP, in creating your value, all of that kind of strategy.
Create it from the ground up. So we have worked a lot with a bottom-up approach. When we sat down and did our EVP, this is a new context. We're for completely different companies with different kind of cultures. So we started to ask what is good about Talentech. What would you say to a potential customer? What would you say to a potential new colleague? What is good about working here? And we started to see some patterns. So it was really, really interesting. And it was a bit turbulent when we merged, of course. We were competitors, but a lot of people got really great opportunities. And that was what most people focused on. Like, this is amazing to grow with Talentech. The company grows and we grow. And people were really like putting the words to it, so that this is something we need to build upon. And it was their own words, not something that we in the management team sat and said, this sounds great, let's do that.
Correct. And Maja,
I think that's but I think that's super important as well, like that it is actually genuine from the inside, because it can sound sometimes like EVP or building your employer brand. It's something you kind of put label on yourself from the outside, and you tell the story you think that someone wants to hear. But that will become very evident after a while that this wasn't genuine when you meet your first new colleagues, or you come in over the threshold. Then you realize
it can backfire.
It can backfire a lot. But if it's genuine, then people will just tell this story for you without you asking for it. It's not using your employee. They want to do this because they want to attract more colleagues. They want to have more people on this journey. So then it becomes a positive circle instead.
Of course. And into like, if because people can sometimes like feel like the threshold doing more authentic work, like really be transparent, really highlight your employees, get them to, you know, do the testimonials, get them to do the employer branding videos, agree with them on your values, agree with them on your EVP, and use it in all your communication. How would you have some advice just coming into this strategy?
Do it so simple that you can involve everyone. So if you're creating a too advanced process, then it will be hard to involve everyone. But if you do really, really simple workshops that anyone can lead, for example, then you can have workshops with everyone. You can do surveys, you can do, so use really, really easy tools, because I think the scale is more important than kind of that it is super well packaged. When you do the work, then of course it should be well packaged when it's done, but the work doesn't have to be that well packaged. And I mean, we haven't done everything perfect. We've done a lot of mistakes during this journey, but I think we've also been quite open about it, and then people are willing to pitch in and improve. So yeah, keep it simple.
Yeah, it's really been like our approach to it. Let's do this together. We're not expecting to have the full strategy. We want to do it together with you, and not everything is done, but we want to involve you in that. So we had reference groups with employees from different parts of the organization and different roles. We did a survey where people could vote what do you relate the most to. And then we actually prepared a small workshop that the manager could take out when we implemented it, and talk about like, what does it mean for my role, seeing your part in the big picture of like being at the forefront of HR. What does that mean? What, as a support person, what do I do to contribute to our values? So I think we got some really interesting discussions in the teams, like bringing up the high level stuff.
Yeah. Just like a quick question that just got into my mind. Like, wouldn't it be super cool if we somehow got like ambassadorship or like talent attraction as each individual, each employee of the company into like your job description? So like a lot of us think that this is, you know, it's a natural move. Everyone's doing it. But again, how about we do this strategically? And giving everyone the tools.
Actually, one thing that we did, I think many others have done this as well, but that we just had our first round of employee talks as Talentech, where we built in the values into what we actually talk about during the employees. So everything is like connected back to our new values, and then that is actually one of the performance or areas that we follow up on is how being an ambassador for Talentech, both as an employer but also as a provider of solutions, of course. So definitely, I think that's a really important part of all of this, to actually show the appreciation that this is important for us. It's not just something we expect you to do or something that we hope that you do, but we actually appreciate this as a company.
Yeah. Do you highlight those who do this extra, like putting a lot of effort into this? Are you highlighting someone from the organization or any customer doing it? Is it on the agenda to put up?
No, but it's a good idea, actually. I don't know. What do you say, Elin?
We have talked about having some kind of award, and I'm really hoping we can do that. But right now, it's a big part of the employee talks and how we measure performance. And when we talk about salary, this is a part of that. Not only like those parts, but what we stand for as a company is a big part for us. So, like with culture, if you encourage the behavior you want to see, it becomes self-reproducing. So if that's the people you hire, if that's the people you promote and give higher salaries, and how you introduce people and onboard them when they're new, then after a while they start to show that and teach other people, and then after a while that is your culture. So we're taking like this opportunity to show them that this is what we care about.
Yeah. Perfect. And since again you're like the largest HCS group with a lot of spectra coming into that world, of course, in the Nordics, and you've also done this merge yourself, building up the attraction phase from within. I bet it's one of your like OKRs or one of your highest goals to get recruitment on everyone's agenda, both of course for your customers, like really having a 24 aspect into this, and of course as a company yourself. So I'm looking for what your best advice coming into making recruitment a 24/7 strategy. How could we help our fellow recruiters get this on everybody's agenda?
Well, one thing is automation, working with a provider like Adway, for example, that can provide this being always on and visible because it's a little bit too late to start when you have a vacancy. So to always have this pipeline or always this visibility.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Another thing that we focus a lot about both with our products and how we talk to our customers, etc., is automation, which is good for many reasons. That you can be more efficient, but also that you can be more effective in making the right selections, or you can have a more unbiased process. You can get faster feedback to candidates, etc., to create a better candidate experience. So that's also one thing that's really important. And then to use this engagement that everyone wants to be part of this. When we built this culture that people want to be part of, also using that to get referrals.
Yeah.
Which is also a solution we provide since we acquired 2 new companies also the last few months. So one of them is I Recommend, which is an app for employee referrals. So that's also something that we use internally, of course, to also make everyone a part of finding new colleagues.
Okay. And Elin, your insights into getting this up on everyone's agenda in your organization?
Yeah, for us, it's obviously easy because we are a really people-oriented organization, but we're trying to talk about this and to be a role model in the industry. Our belief is that HR is not something on the side. It is the core business. In most companies, you don't really have anything without having the employees, and that should be a part of like how you work strategically. It's absolutely a business critical area to be a genuinely good employee. Makes sure that you find the right competence so you can grow. So it's a really easy return on investment having the right people. So we're doing what we can to talk about this. We have some great systems supporting it, but I think people need to understand that the people are the business.
It truly is. And again, you can have coming into workshopping with your hiring managers, like really get them to see how they are contributing into this 24/7 approach, reaching out through them to your candidates or helping in your SoMe strategy through them, or for instance, getting your strategic business partner approach into the boardroom, giving reports and insights into cycles, into, your goal compared to the business and how people is helping into reaching those goals. So I really think we have to be quite pushy and educational, like really helping both, of course, your customers into prioritizing this as a 24/7 strategy, but also internally. Is there any like strategy or some example that you've seen work the best, like really getting your voice through?
My secret weapon is measuring things. It's really easy when you speak their language. It's not like I'm feeling that we're not an attractive company and I think that team is unhappy. But I actually have numbers for this. There's no gut feelings here. I can say that if we do this, then research-based, it leads to people quitting, being less engaged. I can see the engagement and what that does to profitability. I can really show how it affects the business by measuring it, and also like measuring the recruitment process. What happens? We do the candidate eNPS score. What happens with applications? We had a while where we couldn't really get back to people quickly because we got extremely many applications during Corona, and we could see that more people put, "Would you apply here again?" No. When we didn't really have the time. So it's it affected our long-term strategy planning. So like measuring it is like you have to speak the top management language, and that's return of investment and numbers.
It is. And I guess you've seen this too, Maja, in your conversations with customers and internally, how this like use and build your TA ecosystem to support this being prioritized, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think this is a challenge, and many people find difficult to know which numbers are relevant and which are the KPIs. So you understand that, measuring is probably good, but what should I measure? But a thing like measuring the candidate experience, for example, because that is so easy to connect to business value. If someone will not apply again, or they might not even want to buy your products again, if they get a bad enough experience. So definitely.
And speaking of, if anyone is interested in which KPIs that's relevant for the TA effectiveness, join the webinar the 19th of May. Just a heads up, comment in the comment section. So guys, time is running for us. We have a lot of questions and I think we should jump into them right away. And I, again, remind you guys who are watching and with us today, like comment summary or ask your questions right now, because this is your moment. So let's go. And you ladies have to decide who's jumping on these questions first. That's, that's on you. But let's start. We have a question here from Anna Selander. She's the HR business partner at Collector Bank. And the question is as follows. When you have developed a self-leadership strategy into the organization and created agile teams, how do you create a well-functioning way to work nicely with tips from employees? It's not like Tinder and only titles. So tips on good ways to show employees what is important in addition to value in the culture, which they of course already know. We would like to access the employees' attractive network and show their potential for influence, but at the same time, of course, maintain speed in the recruitment process. So important to keep pace and good feedback, and it all could sum up to employer branding. So what are your guys' reflections into this question? Great question, Anna, by the way.
Yeah, very good question. You want to start, Elin? Or?
So I would like to say we have a great tool for that. I have to mention that. Of course, I recommend. But I think like the main question is, working with the employees, do they want to recommend you as a place to work? So I think like the important part is having a good culture that makes sure that people, like the goal is, of course, you can have like referral prices, but the goal should be to get a nice new great candidate and work with having ambassadors and actually encouraging that. And to do that, you have to be a really good employer.
Again, we can put it in the job description as well. Just an idea.
Yeah.
And Maja, what are your reflections into this question?
No, but what Elin said, and also that I think by also showing that there is a development path within the company. So because it can easily be that you focus so much about getting in new people, but what about me? If I'm referring someone from the outside, does that limit my chances to make a career internally? So I also think that this recruit from the inside is also about actually ensuring that there are career paths for your current employees. Want to stay and grow within your company and visualize that. And so every new position should also be available internally, and maybe you should reward managers who actually give away employees to another team, so you don't have any thresholds for internal mobility.
Yeah, you are one of those managers, so it's really great. Yeah. But the best thing is that we want to keep them inside the company. If they want to develop, they're going to develop with us or with someone else, and this is something that we really, really encourage.
Yeah, I agree. And my addition into this would be making it super easy to help everyone at your company or at a specific department. So for instance, if you're recruiting for a marketing role, you should make it super easy for everyone in marketing to share all your ads, your communication, your open vacancies. It should be one click. You can even do like a mail thread around it or a Slack group or whatever. Just make everyone go in and engage as easy as possible. That would be my top funnel, recruitment marketing advice. That's, what I do and love to talk about. Yeah. Shocker. Okay, thank you, Anna, for that question. Moving on, we have a question from Jon Andersson. He's the owner and founder of Ahab. And the question is, how do you think the emergence of new digital platform will affect the craft behind recruitment? And how will it affect human relationships in the future? There are some groups where one side to this claims that everything will be even more digital and automated, and the other claim that relationships and human interaction will become increasingly important. What are your thoughts into this?
I think they're both right.
yeah, me too. Yeah, they're both true. Just different parts.
So, and there is no they don't exclude each other, because if you automate stuff and you do that at the like the beginning of the process, especially when you and ensure that you kind of select your top candidates based on unbiased criteria, you have more time for the relationship building as well, and to focus on a fewer candidates where you actually get to know each other a bit better. Because I don't think we should move away from the gut feeling totally. That's important. The candidate needs to feel that they want to start working for your company. And how are you going to create that feeling through a bot? I don't think that works. But
the mixture is vital.
So yeah, it's a mix.
Yeah.
I think it's about what are you automating? Are you like getting the candidates in and screening them? It's great, but you should free up time for what is actually important, and where you put your time and effort, and the human touch should be where the human touch makes a difference. Sourcing candidates, maybe not so much. Explaining how the culture works, yes, super important. So.
And again, you can measure all these stages and also all these functions. So, for instance, if you would like to automate or have a robot interviewing your candidates, you can see the candidate's satisfaction around it. Just measure it and go from the data. But I'd say to answer John's question, it's really about figuring out, based on data, where to put in the human inputs and where to use automation. Like, where does the human part benefit us, and where is it quite critical? Like we are really messing up, for instance, going into our own networks looking for candidates. That's not, inviting and giving everyone a chance.
And this data part is super important, actually, because it's so easy that you think about yourself. So when I'm a candidate, how do I want it to be? And I have kids now in the upper teens, and they are starting to apply for jobs. They don't want to talk to people. That's not what they want. That's a bit awkward. So they would prefer to talk to a bot as much as possible. So I think there will be a change, definitely, depending on who you are recruiting.
Correct.
Yeah, and also like not being afraid to experiment. If you're continuously measuring candidate satisfaction, then there's no problem. Do a pilot project, do A/B testing, see how people react, see how many applications you get. How does this affect long-term success in the role? Like, you can do a bunch of different things to experiment with this. It doesn't have to be this huge, big, scary project.
No. Definitely not. But the guiding star would be free up valuable time for your recruiters. They shouldn't be doing this repetitive tasks in admin, for instance. Thank you, John, for this great question. And we're moving on to Shubham, who's the Senior Human Resources Manager at CM Media. And we have two questions, so I guess we should start with the first one. What are your guys' advice, like best advice on how to ensure talent diversity? Should Elin start with this one?
Yeah, I can start. So I always say that it's good to take the time to work with ads and the competence profile. If you just do the copy paste of the role description, you get the exact same person that quit. So like, take your time and do not only think about the culture fit, think about the culture ad. What kind of personal characteristics are we missing in the team, in the company? Maybe people are really good at having ideas and not following through. Try to think about that and do an analysis when you're recruiting. You have, like, this is where you create your culture, who you take in. So people often want to start up so quickly, but like, take your time and also think about, why is the thing I'm thinking is important. For example, why do they need to be great at multitasking? Is it just that the previous person was that, or is it something we need to change with the role even? Why is it needed for the role? And then you use that to describe it. And also, like, how you are attracting people. you get what.
Are women or minority groups represented in your communication? Is there anyone to reflect upon, to like, mirror yourself through? Not only men in like different industries, for instance. So really highlight, of course, it should be your people. So start from within, but you should really highlight them and make people feel like they could be a part, not fit in. I don't like the word fit in. Be a part that add to your culture again.
Yeah.
Oops, where did she go?
I don't know, but we can keep going.
We can
so
continue.
yeah,
Because what I also think, to connect to what Sara said, I mean, they start from the inside, because that is again, who are you? Are you actually attracting those? I mean, if you want to attract more women, for example, are you actually attractive? Are you an attractive workplace to women? If that is the problem, if you have not been able to attract enough women or enough people with a different ethnical background or whatever, maybe there is something you also have to change in your workplace, in your culture. So also look at the inside and question yourself a little bit.
I think, and I really like the broad perspective of diversity. For example, we had a recent thing, you and me. You recruited for a design lead, and you only got applications from Sweden. And then we decided that this is something we need to evaluate. Do we need to look at our talent strategy? Why did this happen? And not just like, we can't get anyone outside of Sweden. Because in this case, we really wanted people it was open to all hubs, but we only got Swedish candidates. What is the problem? What do we need to change?
And what did you do?
No, we haven't had that meeting.
We haven't done the evaluation yet, or we have started it a little bit, but it's definitely something we're going to do going forward.
My addition into this question would be really look for social media in this part, because you can't be biased when you recruit with social media, and you follow the rules of unbiased recruitment and automate and really open up to all these candidates pool, because you have 4.2 billion users. So the world is at your, it is your oyster. It is your oyster. Sorry for getting off the show. I'm back now. So that was the first question from Shubham. The second question is, what things do you keep in mind when building a talent pipeline? And I'd say automation would be one of our answers too here, right? Should you start, Maja?
No, but I would say yes to that, and also looking at what different strategies can you have to get candidates in. So social media is one thing, and you have referrals is another thing. What types of ads work for you, and there you need to know who your target audience is and how you can reach those. So to really not just use the same strategy you've always done and put it out on Blocket and LinkedIn and
the job boards.
I would say the same here is like, don't be afraid to experiment. Like do some testing, try some new things, see what happens. Try to really evaluate yourself continuously.
Yeah, and put the recruitment on the 24/7 agenda. As you mentioned before, Maja, if you start recruiting when you have a need, you're already too late.
You're already late, exactly. Especially with difficult roles that I recruit for. I mean, like in product and development, it's you should really have always on ads, because if you have someone standing on your doorstep and want to get in, they are welcome.
They're welcome. That's the situation. Okay, so thank you, Shubham, for these great questions. We're moving on to, I think the last one. Time is really ticking. There's a question from Annika Bagge. She's a recruitment marketing manager at Invice. And the question is, are you seeing any differences in the candidate journey versus the customer journey? What do you need to do differently? And I guess this question comes from how marketing have developed different touch points in nurturing and inbound and outbound strategies. So, well, how about you start, Elin?
I would say there are a lot of similarities. I would say more similarities than differences. So I would say that like what marketing has done with using HubSpot and cold calling customers is the same as cold calling the candidates.
Emails. Yeah.
But I would say this is more about if we return to the start, is the relationship analogy. It's more about a mutual connection, finding each other, having the matching from both sides. It is a relationship, the employer and the employee, not just the manager. So yeah, the human touch is very important in that.
Yeah, the mix again.
You don't often send a thank you note to a potential customer. So that's, of course, an obvious difference. But,
yeah, but I usually get the thank you for a great conversation after talking to salespeople.
Yeah, but Maja, like how would you recommend you mix the inbound and outbound output? So, for instance, use the strategies you have from within, but also in your outbound strategies, automation, for instance.
Yeah, automation, of course, but I think the outbound strategy, I think you should be a little bit careful with that, actually.
Yeah,
because it is also, you tend to go to the outbound strategies for the roles that are hard to recruit for, and those people, they don't want to get these calls. they don't want to get the headhunters calling them. No. So it's that can hurt the employee brand if you are like
if you're too spammy.
You need to really have something to offer. Yeah. You can't just call someone and say, hey, I have a super interesting role for you, but I won't tell you what it is. You need to really have something to offer to catch the interest and to not waste people's time.
Yeah. So like every touch point with the candidate should be that of a value. So every ad, every white paper, every report, every outreach, every message should bring value to someone and really nurture them. So finding great talent, everyone can do it. It's about seducing or converting them basically, and therefore the similarities to marketing. Yeah. So great question, Annika, and thank you for that one. Yes, reminding everyone to write summary if you don't want to miss out on the takeaways, and also the invite to the Talentech webinar the 19th of May. I've said it 3 times now, so you guys know it. Sorry for that. So we are wrapping this session up with you guys' most important takeaways. So who should start?
Take one.
I can start.
You can start.
My key takeaway is the don't assume and ask. Build your EVP on your employees' opinions and what is unique for you. There is always something, even if you're not super cool, have free sodas and lunches and events. There is something. There is a reason why they took the job in the first place. So build your EVP on that. Do you want to take the next one?
Yeah, but it's a little bit on the same topic. But I think that like if you feel like you have to use this like not so real image of yourself on Tinder or in social media when you're hiring, then there is probably something wrong, and you need to fix that. So starting from the inside to be attractive for real, it goes both for being more adding diversity or being able to attract more candidates or whatever, or also and to make people want to stay within your company. It's so important that you actually are honest about what you also need to work on and improve.
Of course.
Yeah. So work on yourself before starting dating.
Correct. Did you have anyone or another takeaway, Elin, or are you happy with the one?
Yeah, I think like you have a big opportunity to affect your company culture when recruiting, and it does not have to be hard, and it's very easy if you measure it to get a return on investment. If you have the right people, the people are the business. So this is a key area for any manager, of course, for HR and recruiters, but this is the most important part to build your business.
Agreed. Maja, any final words?
No, I think that sums it up pretty well, actually.
It does. Yeah. And if the ones watching today are curious in knowing more about Talentech or getting your advice, perhaps sailing into where and how to start measuring, I guess everyone can reach out to you on LinkedIn, right?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Then I'd like to say thank you for today, and thank you, Elin, Maja, for joining the show. And I look forward to seeing everyone in the next session. So take care, guys, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.